So today, a couple hours from now, free agent signings ready to roll. So the stuff we like so far, I like Porzingis to the Celtics. Gets hurt, but he's a get-a-bucket guy. Their offense gets jammed up. Doesn't solve their facilitator issue, but I think it makes them better. I love Bradley Beal to Phoenix. A lot of duplication, but really quality human being. Never complained. 12 years in that mess in D.C. Now gets other supporting stars. I think Phoenix is going to be terrific. Really like that move. No market for Kyrie. And the James Harden piece, reportedly, Sixers going to re-sign him, then move him. I do think the Clippers works okay. But Chris Broussard joins us live. One of the things I argued with Jason McIntyre about is this. I think Tyrese Maxey is an emerging star. And 8 points a game, 17. When Harden was off the floor, he was getting up to 24, 25 a night. And I think Daryl Morey looked and said, at this point, Harden's getting in the way of Maxey. He's going to be a 2 this year in the league. Now, J-Mac looks at me like I'm crazy, but the numbers tell you he's going to be a 23 to 24 point a game guy now with the ball. So my takeaway is Harden worked for about 18 months, but now he just gets in the way of their emerging stars. That's my take. What's yours on that?
No, I think you make some sense because I really like Tyrese Maxey, and I do think that he can become that second guy. Now, I don't know if he's, there's different levels of second guys, right? Is your second guy good enough to help you win a championship, or is he just good enough to make you a contender? He certainly is the latter at the very least, and we'll see if he can go further than that. But yeah, Tyrese Maxey can play. This isn't the worst thing for Philadelphia. And look, there more information is coming out about this Harden situation. I ripped him yesterday. I said he was a runner. When the going gets tough, he's running away. And he definitely has running tendencies, okay? There's no doubt about that. However, it does seem like he was in a tough situation. Houston bailed. Right? We all were hearing, Houston wants him. He wants to go back. It seems like they said, you know what? On second thought, we're not getting back in the James Harden business. So then he looks around at free agency and he's like, who's going to offer me a big deal? If I opt out of this contract with Philly and nobody makes me an offer, Philly can lowball me. And it seems like he was getting those vibes that the Sixers might not give him the deal he wants. So then he said, you know what, let me opt in. He didn't have to demand the trade, but I get where he was coming from to some degree. I'm like you. I like him with the Clippers if that's where he ends up. And when you talk about Tyrese Maxey and what they might get from the Clippers, Norman Powell, very nice sixth man.
Yes.
Can even start. And who'd he play with? Nick Nurse. Played for Nick Nurse in Toronto when they won the championship. So Nurse knows how to use him. That's kind of when he emerged as a really good player. You could get Terrence Mann,
yes.
Marcus Morris, maybe some draft picks. Now there's talk, Colin, that they could try to flip what they get from the Clippers, particularly some of the picks, and maybe move Maxey to Portland for Damian Lillard.
No.
If you could do that, you wouldn't want Dame? Wow, you really like Maxey.
You don't.
I like him, but I'm not. I don't think they're getting Dame, but I'd look at it if I'm.
I like Dame. Dame last 2 years injured, Embiid injured. I got Maxey at 22. I got 6 years before the injury set in. He's ascending. He's accelerating. I think Dame's a 1, but I worry about injuries. I don't like my 2 stars. Clippers a great example. Paul George, Kawhi. I don't want my 2 stars playing 54 games. Lakers, AD, LeBron. That's why Austin Reeves and maybe Bruce Brown become important. They're there 70 games a year. So I think Dame fits in a lot of places. I don't know if he fits in Philadelphia. So now I will say this. The Dame stuff is interesting because J-Mac and I talked about this. Ja Morant on the downtrend. Not a huge market for Dame. Kyrie Irving, no market. Harden, small market. Is the league, it's cyclical. Brew, do you think the NBA is going, listen, man, bigs, Europeans, boring, no drama. It's a better way to do business. Because it feels like, Brew, drama is no longer a captivating risk for GMs.
Yeah, well, first, obviously, we're talking about injuries first. With
Right.
Damian Lillard, absolutely a concern. Harden, age is a concern. And drama, Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant. That's drama to extreme levels. Obviously, Kyrie's isn't criminal, but it's still drama that's crazy. And Ja's not criminal either, but it's gunplay. So those are extremes. But I do think, look, we've heard, how much have we heard about this collective bargaining agreement and ownership taking back control of the league? And now you're going to have trouble putting three superstars together because it'll really hurt you going forward in the future and being able to build around those guys. So what the league and what the owners are tired of is players having total, utter control. And again, people might think this is Harden trying to taking control, but I think he's more reacting to Philadelphia giving signs that, you know what, we're not giving you a long-term max contract. So he had to do what he had to do. But yeah, I think in that regard, Colin, that's where the league is tired of the drama and the players having control, and they're pulling back on some of that.
By the way, my favorite part of this, I skipped over it, is when he mentioned Terrence Mann and Norman Powell, J-Mac, because I said getting Harden out of the building in Philadelphia first helps Maxey. I don't need a star back because now it allows Maxey to be a 2. What I need are excellent rotational winning players, guys that'll play hard for Nick Nurse. No, I think Norman Powell's a great bench player. Terrence Mann's nice player. So to me, if you told me Embiid, Maxey, Tobias Harris, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, that's a good team. That's a good, and no erratic, no divisive, right? Like, I like that roster.
Colin, it is at least as good as they were last year. Look, the bottom line is none of us believe they were going to win a championship with James Harden.
That's right.
Because of what happens to him in big playoff games most of the time. And so they can at least get back, and not guaranteed because the East is pretty deep, but they'd have a great chance with that roster you just named of getting to the second round. And then, depending on how much Maxey emerges and how well Nick Nurse coaches, they'd still be a contender. That's the bottom line. They would still be a contender, just as good as they are with James Harden, at least. And you don't have to pay him the long-term money that wouldn't look good at the end of that contract.
Okay, so there's a lot of talk about Bruce Brown, Denver to the Lakers. I actually like this fit a lot. If you told me next year, LeBron, AD, Rui, Austin Reeves, Brown, and maybe Lonnie Walker, I'd be like, okay, that's a good team. I get rid of some silliness with D'Lo. It's just, I think he is. Malik Beasley didn't work. Vanderbilt, hit and miss. I actually think that you re-sign Austin Reeves, more money than I'd want to pay, but whatever. If you get Brown from Denver, move off D'Lo. That's one of the rare. That's a Laker move I like. Do you think it's possible?
No. Yeah, I love Bruce Brown there. I mean, you love Bruce Brown anywhere. He did well in Brooklyn, obviously in Denver, and he'd be great for the Lakers. And for the Nuggets, I think they could replace him with Christian Brown. He obviously showed he played well as a rookie, and I think he'll do well in that role. But Bruce Brown is just what the doctor ordered. If they get him, obviously health and age for LeBron is still always a concern. But the one thing I'd want, and D'Lo doesn't fit this bill. He can fit it occasionally. But I feel like they need a guy that can create his own jump shot in the fourth quarters, near the end of games, a la Jamal Murray. That's what they lacked against Denver. LeBron can close, but he's going to do it going to the rim. If you can cut off that paint and keep him from getting a good shot at the rim, he's not the greatest mid-range shooter. And obviously, he's not the greatest three-point shooter. AD, that's not his thing. That's the thing they lack, is that guy that can create off the dribble and get you a great mid-range look at the end of games. Can Austin Reeves do it? Maybe. But the bottom line is I like the Bruce Brown addition for sure if they can do it.
All right. I criticize the Lakers enough. Got to be positive, Uncle Colin, occasionally. Chris Broussard, first things first, fastest growing show in sports cable. Buddy, it's great seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.